All right, so we're gonna talk about Project CB7. I've been looking online for people who make customized lights, and I'm not talking about just take out the old lights and put new projector lights or sequential lights on or anything like that. I'm talking about literally grab lights from another car and put them into your car. I haven't been able to find any. The only thing I've been able to find is, like I say, people doing sequential lights or upgrading their lights. And I wanted to do this video so that you can know how to change your lights if that's what you want to do. You like the lights from let's say Mustang, and you want to put them on your Toyota. It is the same steps to follow in order to do that. Usually it's easier to cut the light housing unit, you could say like that, or the support for the tail light. You just cut the whole thing off and weld it onto your car. If you have the other car, you're able to do that, or if you go to the junkyard. In my case, I didn't, so I had to do the supports and everything myself from scratch. So I will take you through the process of how I'm doing things. I didn't get into too much detail about the cutting and the welding of the sheet metal and all that, because you can see it in other videos that I have, or you could go and see other YouTube videos of how to weld or how to cut the sheet metal, how to bend it and stuff like that. So this is just the steps of how to do it, so you have a basic idea of how to make this happen. So if you like it, subscribe, like it or don't like it, whatever, and just make sure you leave your comments below if you have any ideas of how to make this easier, or if you have any suggestions of what I could do to make this project a little easier or a little better. Like I said, this is Project CB7 91 Accord. I am putting the tail lights from a 04 to 08 Acura TL in the back as well in the front, but this video is just showing you how to do it in the back. The next video will be how to do it in the front. Alright, so the first thing you gotta do is you gotta wrap up the light, just to prevent it from getting any scratches or anything. Next, you look at the area where you want to put the light. Just make sure that the distances are even on both sides and that there's enough space between that little rubber piece for the water to flow through there properly. You don't want it to get stuck between the metal and whatnot. Now, make sure that when you measuring and seeing where the light's gonna go, that you take into account the angle of the light. So you could make the bottom straight, or you could put in an angle, or you could do whatever you want, but keep in mind that you have to do the same thing to the other side. So you might want to try to do something that's more simple. Now if you see around the inside right here, those are the parts and the pieces that I must cut in order for a light to go in. Now when you cut, just cut enough so the light could go in, so you could see what is needed. Like, you don't want to cut all this area and have a hole that's way too big. So just cut a little bit at a time until the entire light brackets go in, fit in there. Now it would be easier if I had that piece from an 04 Acura TL, but since I don't, I have to make my own brackets. So now if you see, I just finished cutting it, and you can see that the light fits in nice. I got it with a little piece of tape so it doesn't fall off, but eventually I have to cover that area right there, so when the water falls down, it flows nice and evenly. Now if you see this part right here, you gotta take that into account as well. As you can see, the light sticking out about, give or take, 3 inches. If you see, it's like 3 1/4, which is okay. it's fine, you know. I thought about all that before I started doing this project, and I wanted a light that I could do my white body with, which will come out just like this. You see where that line is? It'll be evenly, and from there the white body start coming out nice and even with the light, and all the way down to the floor even. Now when I do the white body, I will make sure I put the fiberglass on it, and then I will cut that piece off, and it'll just be fiberglass, so that the car is lighter as well. Now as you can see with the light, there's a gap right here. I will have to either hammer that part out, or I will have to roll the piece so that there's no light going in there. If you see in here, that's what the little rubber piece goes for the water. So when I build that piece right there, I will make it go even with that trim of the light. Now you have to take into consideration that that trim right there is even with this trim down here. And if it's not, you might have to cut some off. Like I have to cut this piece right here from the trunk, because when it closes, it will touch the light. So make sure you take all these things into consideration when installing custom lights. I will probably have to cut it from in here, just so it could be cleaner. Now this part right here, I'm not gonna put those lights back. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna seal it with like a sheet metal, and I might do a nice little design for the reverse lights. I might put like some spotlights or something so it's real bright when I'm reversing. But yeah, as you can see, I cut the hole. It's pretty big, so the light fits nice in there. You can see from the inside, I had to make sure I cut it that big. I cut it little by little. Like I said, just take your time doing it. So I probably weld a little bracket right there holding on to that screw. I'll do the same on the top. You know, with little brackets, make my own little light supports that could get screwed on, so I could take off and put the lights back on. I'll probably weld this one from the side, or hammer that metal out and drill a hole through it. And the bottom, same thing. I might make like a little square on that corner just so it could be a lot stronger. I will have to play with the sheet metal to see what will fit best here. Now I have to leave that space open in the middle, so when I want to change the lights, so I have to keep all that in mind while I'm cutting the sheet metal. Now when you guys cut the sheet metal, make sure you look at other videos of how to do that. I'm not going too much into that detail, because the video will be way too long. I just want to show you the steps of what you have to do in order to get custom lights fit in here. Now of course, after I'm done doing this, I will do the body, and at that point I will make sure everything's polished nice and neat. As you can see, I also did the other side. I had to cut a little bit of the trunk so that would be even with the light, and I cut the side. Now the bottom right here, I have to trim a little bit more because it's touching right there. When I do the fiberglass or whatnot, I will add to the parts where I cut too much. And when I do the sheet metal, because the sheet metal is going to be on the outside, so the sheet metal, I'll make sure I cut evenly with the light, and the sheet metal go all the way to the edge right there. I might put the TL plate, license plate cover, which comes with the reverse lights in the inside, but I'll still have that in the back, so that if I want to put any kind of designs, any lights or anything, I have the access to it because the hole's already drilled. But the TL license plate will be nice and flush right here. So I could do a whole one piece, but then you still need the space for the license plate, so I might just do the sides right here so that's nice and clean with the trim of the light. Now, like I said, don't forget you may have to cut the trunk a little bit. See, I did on both sides. This one came out a little more even. That would be nice to see it once the body kit is on. It's not too bad. Both sides are, I think it's 9 degrees in an angle, so they're both pretty even. Now, as you can see, I put the 20s on just to see how it looks, how much space I got. And you can see they're sticking out because it's 8 inches wide. So when I put the spacer, it's gonna come out another 1/2 inch. So my white body is gonna have to be at least 1.5 inches, which is good because, like I said, in the back I'm gonna need 3 inches. So I'll work with that once I get to that part of the project. For now, we gotta try to get these lights situated and have to make sure I do the supports properly for them so that there's no water leaks in the inside. You see all that rust right there from where water used to leak in, and I don't want any more rust happening in this car, so I gotta make sure whatever I do is sealed properly. I'm not worried about that rust because, like I said, once I do the white body, I will be cutting all that metal piece and it'll just be fiberglass on top of that. So I'm not worried about the rust in the bottom by the tire or the inside, because all that's gonna get cut off anyways. Right now, just my main concern is to do this brackets properly, welding them so they can have the best support, and making them sealed tight so that water doesn't leak in the inside. As I told you guys before, the bracket that comes down here, I have to make sure that there's enough space so when I want to change those lights, not just the lights right here, but also the lights on the other side. And the screws, I want it to be nice and tight, so when I do the support, I'll probably leave it out a little bit just so that when I put the screw, it could pull on it nice and tight. So I'll leave probably that much space on there. We'll see how everything works out. As you can see, a little gap, like I said. When I do build this part right here, right, I have to keep in mind the trunk has to close. So I can't go crazy and just do a straight piece of metal that goes straight down, because when I close the trunk, it might hit it. So I might put some styrofoam or some Play-Doh or something. Of course, after ceramic wrapping everything, I will have to put that Play-Doh and whatnot there and then close the trunk so it could get that shape that I need, because it can't be straight like that, and it has to end right there and where that trim is. Same thing with the side gap right here. I have to always keep in mind that when you close the trunk, it could affect or it could hit it, and it could prevent the trunk from fully closing. So as you guys can see, in the inside of the trunk, there's that little shape right there, right here. So that shape comes down on it, so it's about 1 inch in. So I can't, like I said, just weld a sheet of metal straight down. I have to make it like in a little angle, like a little step, you could say, so it could have that shape right there. So just keep that in mind anytime you're building these, that you may have to shape your molding or whatever it is you're using, sheet metal or fiberglass or whatever. You might have to shape it so that it could fit properly. You don't want to just do it and then you try to close your trunk and it doesn't close. Always keep all those things in mind when you are customizing anything. like eventually when I do the headlights, I have to take into account the hood as well. But right here, like I said, there's different ways to do it. You can use Play-Doh, or you can use the expandable foam. But always make sure you wrap it in saran wrap so you don't make a mess out of all this. Also, you guys see this gap in here? If water happens to fall in here, it will start to rust this whole thing. So what I may do is hammer those two pieces together and weld them together so there's no water leak in there. I could also push this one out and the inside in, and I could put some fiberglass in between them so that water just flows down straight through there and it doesn't go on the inside of this. Same thing with this side. Those sides gonna get cut. Down here, I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I might just wrap it so it doesn't hit the light. This has to stay open right here because there's little brackets underneath the light that if that was any higher, it would touch it and it would prevent the light from going in. So I have to keep that into consideration. This rust right here is gonna get cut off, so I'm not worried about it. All right, so I just finished doing the brackets and welded it. As you can see, it's pretty sturdy. It's not going anywhere. I left the hole so you could change the lights, like I said, both sides. Not the best weld ever, you know, I'm not a welder or anything like that. I'm just learning as I go. I have the ideas, executing it is the difference. So as you can see, I kind of stick welded it. Is in there. Be careful with the welder because this sheet metal is really old and you could put holes through it real easy. I have it at its lowest and it's still putting holes through it. But overall, the brackets themselves are pretty straight, pretty even. I may have to cover that area right there. I'll probably hit that with the fiberglass after I'm done. I don't know what I might do in the middle yet. I may put a little sheet metal there or not. But for the most part, it fits. Well, as you can see, the scratches in the bottom. That's why I want to put something down there so I could prevent that from happening. But I think that once I put it in, the screws themselves will prevent those metals right there from scratching it. So I might just trim those down so it stops hitting the light. And then, yeah, you see it's very sturdy. So I'll sheet metal it, fiberglass it, bundle it, then paint it. So right here, what I'm gonna do is a bracket for this side to fill in that gap. It has to come out about 1.5 inches. I think it was 1.25 inches. And I also have to do, sheet metal right here for the water to come out instead of just dropping down. So I'm gonna have to work on that. Let's see how that goes. As you can see, I haven't put the sheet metal here yet. I'll probably do that when I start doing the body kit because I'm still trying to think of designs to put back here for the lights when I press the brakes. I'm thinking of maybe some letters or just a nice design or something. But overall, like I said, I'm gonna probably put the TO license plate cover on it. This hole right here is for an antenna. That's getting covered as well. I don't use my antenna, and if I do want to use an antenna eventually, I'll just put it in the inside. As you can see from where I cut it, those pieces right there may have to get welded. I ended up cutting this corner of the trunk because it kept hitting the corner right there. Yeah, right there. And I thought it was because the trunk was moved, but I looked at this side and this side is even. So it was just the way they fabricated the trunk. I noticed that in a few other Honda Accords that little corner right there usually sticks out and hits that little piece of that little corner piece. and that could prevent rust as well because it exposes the metal. So I just cut it and evened it out. I will have to file it down later and prime it and paint it. Okay, so I did the little sheet metal that I told you. As you can see, I did like the little step, and I got the little gap right there because the trunk was hitting it. So I had to bang the trunk, sand it down, sand that down, so that now when you close the trunk, it doesn't hit it anymore. Yeah, see, so we're good to go. Now that little plastic is hitting it. I could cut it. I'm not sure yet if I want to. That means I will have to cut in the new lights that I get. This part right here, I'm gonna fiberglass it so that the water flows nice and even down, and then in through there and out the side of the lights. Now, when I have this little rubber piece right here, I will know for sure that it will be sealed tight, that there will be no water going inside of the car. So all this will be fiberglassed and then bondoed and then painted just to give it that proper seal. I wish this was a little longer right here. I might extend it with the fiberglass. I might not. Depends how I feel. It is making contact with the light, so I know as soon as it has the little rubber seal that it will seal it properly. So I don't know if I'll do it. I'm still undecided. That's something I could think about later on. But right here, as you can see, I hit all this with the rust treatment just because I don't want it to start getting rusty. After sanding this down, I'll probably hit it all with that rust treatment as well. Then I'll fiberglass it and bondo it and paint it. So the next step will be to fiberglass this and just make sure the waterproof rubber fits in between what you're doing. Let's see, how does this thing go? Okay, all right. So right here, yep, as you can see, it fits perfect. So we're good to go. Always keep that in mind when you're doing things, that the stuff that gotta go back on fits properly. As you can see on this side too, nice and sturdy. It's not going anywhere. The inside the same. I rust treated it. I'll probably hit that with fiberglass as well, and bondo, just to make it look better. So now I hit it with the spray paint for the rust treatment. You can see they're all nice and solid. Now I just gotta hit it with the fiberglass and the bondo so it's nice and smooth. I may have to seal this part right here so that the water doesn't go inside. I was gonna seal it from the inside, but then water may get stuck down there, so I don't want that happening. So to prevent that, I might hit it with some bondo down there, just in the edges right there. I may cover it from the inside, right here. Hit it with the fiberglass and the bondo, and in the outside as well. I figure it could be secured through both sides, so water doesn't leak into the trunk anymore. So yeah, as you can see, both sides are done. The next step is the fiberglass and the bondo. I'm still not sure if I'm gonna put like a little sheet or something there to support the bottom of the light. But I do have to seal all these holes so that water doesn't leak in the inside. When I did put the lights on, they were up with the screws. They were up, they were moving anywhere. So I don't know if I'm gonna put that bottom support plate right there. It might cause more problems than not, so I may just leave it alone. Definitely gotta be careful with the welding. As you can see, all those holes. It's because the sheet metal is real weak, and the sheet metals that I'm using right now for the bracket supports are 16 gauge, very strong, very sturdy. But the metal, like I said, since it's so old, it's easy for you just to put holes through it. Even though I have it at like 12. Okay, so I fiberglassed it, and I used fiberglass resin, which is like Bondo, but I think it's a little bit stronger in my opinion. So as you can see, it's nice and smooth. I didn't get crazy with the job right now. My main focus is on the water, so the water doesn't go inside. It should rain any second now, so I just want to make sure I seal all the holes. As you can see in the inside, everything's sealed with the fiberglass and the resin. Then I primed it. You can see I left no cavities for water to get through. Now once the rubber piece is right here in the light, it will be nice and sealed tight. But also I left the space with that, with, you see that lip right there for the light? That lip right there needs a little bit of space. So what I did was I left it right here underneath the little corner, as you can see it. If you see it, I have a good 1/4 inch, and I have the metal itself is sticking out a little bit more than the Bondo that I put, or the resin that I put, so that it could fit in the inside of that lip, and it could be nice and sealed tight. So now the water will just slide right off there. I don't have to worry about it going to the inside. I did the same to both sides, as you can see. Also, I covered the antenna hole that I said I was gonna do. Not the best job, like I said. I'm just doing something fast just in case it rains. Once I start working on the body kit and I blend all that in, I will make sure everything is nice and smooth, so it could all blend in together very nice. See, I sealed the holes in the trunk as well, just so there's no water going in damaging it. But as you can see, there's still areas that I have to sand down, but for now I'm just gonna prime it and I'm gonna paint it. Now a lot of people like to leave their car primed. Don't do that. You have to paint it. Primer does absorb water, so keep that in mind. Anytime you're doing a project, make sure you hit it with the primer and make sure you paint it. No matter what color it is, just paint it if you're not gonna work on it right away, so that way if it does rain or anything, there's no metal damage. Now as you can see, I painted it black. Why did I choose black? A few years ago I went and got my car painted, and it used to be red, and the guy told me, what color do you want it? And I told him I want my car to be black, and he said, damn, you picked the hardest color, because on black and white you could see all the minor imperfections. So that's the reason I picked black right now as well, because I want to see what all my imperfections are, what I have to sand down, what I have to come back and touch up. So like I said, this is not finished. This is just for now, so that the water doesn't go in there. So it, slides nice and off the metal itself. Now as you can see in the inside right here, I made sure all that got hit with the paint, because I don't want water settling anywhere. The paint acts like protecting for the metal itself, so make sure you always hit whatever you hit with primer, you hit with the paint. You can see I still have to sand this little area down more. Like I said, it's just a rush job right now, just because it seems like it's gonna rain. I'll hit all this up once I do the body kit. See, you can see little minor imperfection areas. I took the emblems off, so I'll cover the holes. I want people to guess what kind of car this is when I'm done with it. And for all the CB7 enthusiasts, they will know it's a CB7 that's been altered, but at the end of the day, it's still CB7. The body, even if I make it a white body, it's still gonna be nice and smooth, nice and square. The windshield, the doors, everything's gonna remain the same. The inside for the most part. So if you know about CB7s, you will know this is CB7. So yeah, I can't wait to start on the body. Make sure you guys stay tuned to see the progress. I will cut that around the wheel off, push it up. As you can see, a little dirt mark. Will not do the wide body. I'm probably gonna use expandable foam to make the shapes that I want. Then do fiberglass on top. Once the fiberglass is nice and hard, I will take it off. Take off all the expandable foam and then cut the sheet metal all the way up to the line, like I said, so that it could give you guys that nice wide body look, but also lightweight. So this is the final result after putting the supports on and painting it. After that, you can use your imagination to see how the body kit is gonna look. I will give you guys a glimpse of how it looks with the lights on. And that's it right here. You guys already know I'm gonna put the sheet metal in the middle and work on that, but I'm not gonna start doing that until I start working on the body kit. Comment below, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think I should have done or not done or whatnot. Like I said, you know, every car is a person's it describes a person or personality. So, you know, I'm making this car my own. Still rooted to the CB7 foundation. And, you know, make sure you like it or make sure you subscribe to it.